So Kawhi Leonard speaks on the difference between the Clippers this year rather than last year. And the difference that he speaks on is very, very highly anticipated, or should I say very highly appreciated, because, the fact that he speaks on himself in regards to him feeling a lot better coming into camp this year rather than how he felt last year, coming off that ACL injury and the pressure being put on him to try to come out there and perform at a high level and be the player that he always is. And the expectancy of him doing that off of a major surgery just kind of made things a little bit more difficult for Kawhi. And I can see how it did, because coming off a major injury like that, your mental is like, oh, I want to be the best player. I want to be the best player I can be for my team. I want to dominate and play at the level that I was playing before the injury. And hopefully nothing changes within my game and my skill set in order for me to dominate at that level. And when you have that type of mindset that he has, it's really a mindset of dominance and a killer instinct, and that killer instinct and that mindset he has, I think, is what really drove him to the point that he is now, where he feels more comfortable in his own skin in regards to being the player that he was before injury. And last year, he's shown signs of it, a lot throughout the season. But of course, the last part of the season, the last month of basketball, I personally said Kawhi looks like the best player in basketball. The last month of the season, which is the reason why I think he got Western Conference Player of the Month, the last part of the season, because he looked exactly like the Kawhi Leonard prior to the injury, and he was killing people. He was dominating. He was doing everything that people wanted him to do in regards to being the player that people know of him as, which is a dominant, killer-minded, Jordan jump shot, lethal type player, and dominant on defense. I mean, he definitely looked like the best player in basketball, based upon last year, or the last part of the season last year. So I was very intrigued by what I saw from Kawhi Leonard in regards to his progression, how he went through last season and everything. But him saying that, he's, coming into this season and, he's got a fresh start. He feels a lot better. The team is a lot better. The chemistry around the team is better. I personally think that's going to go a long way, and I definitely think it's going to go a long way with the Clippers, significantly. And I feel like everybody's going to feed off his energy, and they're going to feed off each other's energy as well. I like what they've been doing so far. It looked like they're trying to play more, open basketball. And when I say that, it looks like the ball movement looks a little bit better, in regards to the preseason. Now, of course, it's just preseason. You got to kind of wait and see how it's going to pan out in the real season. But what I've seen so far, it looked like they're just trying to move the ball a lot more, have a little bit more crisp offense, things like that. Russ is making some good passes, in the preseason. Got to give Russ some credit. Shout out to him. And hopefully they can build this thing and build it all the way up to get to where they're trying to get to, which is, the NBA Finals, the championship. I mean, it's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy. And of course, you got to have a little luck by your side too when you try to win championships. It's not all about just talent and having the right players. You got to have some luck in there. Things go your way and all the stars got to align. That's the way it is to win a championship. And, a lot of people may not look at it that way, but that's how championships or champions are formed. You got to have things go your way, and it's got to be meant to be for you. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully this year specifically is meant to be for the Clippers, because they've been going through a lot of rough patches throughout the last 4 or 5 seasons together. And the Kawhi PG era has not been a comfort one, to say the least, because, it's been a lot of injuries, a lot of, just uncertainty. It's been a lot of everything that, fans don't want to see, and there's been no championships coming out of it. But, hopefully, the new arena, everything coming into play, now they're getting ready to, go into their own arena and have their own space and their own, thought process. Hopefully that can take them where they need to go, which is, to a championship. It's like I said, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be tough, but it's actually doable. And if it's doable, then that means it can happen. And, with Kawhi Leonard saying he feels better and he's healthy and he feels like, he feels better coming into camp and things like that, and you're hearing Terrence Mann go on podcasts and talk good about their chances, and Paul George talking on his podcast and things like that. Hopefully the aura and everything around the team is good too, because it looks like it is. It looks like Russell Westbrook look like he's feeling good about his situation, and everybody's coming in fresh, and everybody wants to see what everybody got, and everybody wants to challenge one another. And that's the one thing I was looking at in some of their practices, challenging one another. That's huge. Things like that go a long way, especially when you're trying to win, especially when you're trying to be, the best team you could be and, win championships. So I definitely think that that's definitely a step towards the right direction for the team. And of course, we all know health has got to be the number one priority with this team. And with this load management thing and all the stuff that's going on about that, I don't think it's really going to affect the team any. I think it's really going to motivate them to play a little bit better and a little bit harder and go a little bit stronger at what they want, and I definitely think it's all a good thing. And, hearing Kawhi say, in the media day that they're trying to do the load management for him is not really going to work. I mean, because if you're hurt, you're hurt. You can't go out there and play, and hopefully those comments don't come back to bite the team. But I mean, that's just being logical. You know what I'm saying? You play when you can play. If you're not able to play, you don't, but I definitely think they're going to make more of a conservative effort to be out there. Taking the regular season serious is more important than what I think, a lot of people may know. And I definitely think that the Clippers are starting to think that more themselves, which is actually a good thing. It's great. And I like the thought process of what they have and how they're thinking about it and how they're thinking about going into the situation. Because, when you put your all into something, it works out a lot better those ways. And don't get me wrong, Kawhi's won championships load managing, but people act like his load managing was him missing games intentionally. It was really due to injury. So, I mean, regardless, Kawhi is one of the top players in the league when healthy, no doubt about it. And we're going to see it on display this year. Hopefully a whole lot more than less, and along with Paul George too, because Paul George is the top 10 player to me as well when he's actually right and when he's actually playing the top of his game and he's actually healthy. So, the Kawhi PG era, we hope it doesn't end after this season, but hypothetically, if it did end or if it ever was going to end, we definitely hope it ends up with a championship. But here's my take on everything. Leave any comments and we'll talk about it.